Working in customer support is never easy. Working in tech support? I can't even imagine. Welcome to this episode of Tales from Tech Support. Our first tale is from Booger Tom. Back in the day, I led a desk-side support team at the HQ of a major NGO. The new CTO was full of buzzwords and the organization just lived and died by metrics. This was fine, except for some reason, the positions allocated to my team never seemed to get filled, and we were well below the industry norm for technical staff per employee supported. Our case closure rate reflected this dramatically. The queue had the typical ratio of 80% trivial repetitive issues to 20% real technical issues, but without more bodies, it never seemed to get smaller. So I decided that if I couldn't get staff, I'd try something different. I exported the ticket database and sorted it by caller to come up with the list of our frequent flyers, mostly department admins entering tickets for other users, plus a few technical basket cases. I then sent them all an invitation to a brown bag lunch gripe session, and sure enough, 90% of them showed up. We had a long, candid discussion of what they saw as problems and how those problems looked from the tech support side. Many of them were genuinely surprised to hear our side of the story, and many of them asked really good questions that revealed where our training and outreach had broken down. I ended up doing a couple of these before my manager heard about them and shut them down. She didn't like being out of the loop. But I knew that the presence of management in the room would have shut the conversation right down. It did a wonderful job of reaching the number of tickets coming in and made our queue look lots better in short order. And then of course, when the time came, my manager threw me under the bus. But that's another story. I'm kinda curious how your manager threw you under the bus, if it was in a bad way. Well, getting thrown under the bus period is bad, but did they try to take credit for it, or did they get in trouble and then place all the blame on you? Regardless, way to think outside of the box. This next tale is by Turbo Jelly. So I started a new job yesterday. First things first, get a login. But it's more complicated than asking the person next to me to do it. You see, I now work for a large group. I am IT support for a subsection. This means that I have to call up the group IT to get my login. So from my personal phone I do so, only needing to confirm my name and boss to have them find my account and inform me that the details have been emailed to my boss. An hour later and my new boss still hasn't received my info and has decided they might not have told the truth and directed me to call them again. Speak to the same person and they give me an ID and password. I log into my new laptop. Going through the Outlook and Teams first time logins, I notice something odd. Should a day-old account really be downloading so many emails? Why do I have a Teams profile picture? Why is it definitely not me? Shit. Show my boss I've been given access to the account of someone with the same name as me that already works there and log off. Yes, I was given full access to someone else's account without needing to answer a single security question, while calling from my personal, definitely not registered with the group, phone. I think this isn't good. Boss understandably calls group IT and gives them a good bullocking. I sat around all day waiting for this mess to be sorted. Today I've been sent on site. Still don't have a login. Fun times. Well, you know someone in that group IT is definitely not doing their job, especially to make a mistake on that level. I mean, I don't understand how you confuse a new hire with someone that's already at the company, even if they share the same name. I hope you get that login soon though. This next tale is from Inconsequential-ish. One fine day, while attempting to work, I got the call we've all gotten. Mom was in an absolute tizzy because her computer didn't work. Ugh. My retired mom loved to click all the things, as moms do, and had gotten one of those viruses that locks your computer for security violations or something, with a dire warning to call Microsoft at the number provided. Sadly, she actually called the number and listened to the pitch in broken English. Happily, once the guy at the other end started demanding a credit card number, she finally got suspicious and hung up, despite her moral fear of appearing rude, and called me. However, she had recently moved to a farm several miles from a remote ancestral village, at least 4 hours away from me, and there was no way this was something I could coach her through without tears on both sides. Man, I would give $100 to get out of this predicament, and thus the light dawned. Mom, on the tiny road to your remote village, there should be a little house with a sign outside saying computers or computer repairs or something like that. Do I guess correctly? Yes, I've seen something like that. Good, there's one in every village, even yours. Okay, here's what you need to do. Take your laptop along with the power adapter to this house tomorrow morning. Inside that house will be a man with a large beard. Wait, how do you know he has a beard? He will have a beard, trust me. The bushier the better. Anyway, give this man your computer and tell him exactly what happened and ask him to fix it. Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed. That's okay, he's heard it before. But it's very important that you do not lie to this man. Answer his questions, if he has any. If you don't know, that's fine. Just say you don't know. He will probably seem a little gruff and grumpy, but don't worry about that. He will grunt and tell you to pick it up in a day or two. He sounds mean. No, he's not mean. Just, well, that's how the best computer people are sometimes. He's probably not really a people person. Oh, like your father was. Yeah. Anyway, pay the man with the beard. It will probably be about $100 and then follow his instructions. He'll install software to make sure this doesn't happen again, so make sure you read and do what it tells you. And lo, dear readers, so it came to pass, exactly as predicted in every detail. Tiny house, gruff man, wildly majestic beard, $99 in all. Mom had her computer back in a day or two with a clean Windows install and a decent antivirus installed. Mine was not the only mom in the village who clicked all the things. Even better, she returned to Beard Guy when she needed other help and followed his advice when it was time to upgrade. Thank you, Bearded Man. I love how your mom didn't freak out, she just took your advice, went with it, and all worked out. If only some of the other people in these stories would do the same thing, just take the advice, follow the instructions, we'd probably have a lot less Tales from Tech Support. This next tale is from Snow Lobsters 3497. I once worked for a power cooperative that felt that anything powered that wasn't directly involved with getting power to the customer was the responsibility of the IT department. I was the lesser of the two staff and I got all the bad tasks. We had to deal with cameras, access control, lighting, fire suppression, and the plumbing. I lasted about 2.5 years and moved on to another job. The cooperative had a redundant fiber circuit going out of the building in 2 different directions. There was a day when the entire WAN went offline. This was bad because this was the primary way of accessing the meter data from the customers as well as monitoring the power grid. I went outside to see what could have caused it and I saw 2 identical fiber service trucks from BU&U Phone Company. They were located at either ends of the property where the fiber vaults were located. I asked them what was going on and why we lost our connection. The supervisor, who seemed really pleased with himself, said that he had this work order to move some fiber for the road project. He brought 2 crews so that they could get it done in half the time. I asked him if he understood what a redundant circuit was. He didn't have a clue what I was talking about. To be fair, before I read this, I had no idea what a redundant circuit is, and I still don't know the basis of the technicalities with it. However, if you're working for a company and you're dealing with these cables, you should at least know what the hell the circuits are. And our final tale is from Loving All Doggies. I'm part of tech support at a company that integrates with patient data softwares in my industry to cut back clients' time on certain aspects of their job. If the client updates data on a patient in one and wants to sync it immediately, they need to refresh their browser. Simple, right? Not today, apparently. I took a call from a client who said the sync was off. Not in those words, as she does not know what sync means, but that's besides the point. It's not pulling data for XXX, and I know I entered it. It's not working. When did you change the data? Yesterday. So I remote in to take a look, and the information she entered yesterday was clearly entered seconds before she called. I let her know that it looks like the data had just been updated, and she started yelling that it didn't matter and our product didn't work. If you refresh your browser right after you update the data, it will sync and you'll be able to see it. I should never have to refresh my browser. You just click this button right here. I refuse to refresh my browser. You should have built a product that works. Refreshing your browser will update the data immediately. That is too much work. I should not have to take that extra step. I'm canceling your garbage product now and I want a refund. Well, okay then. I've never had someone so upset about that, but if she's refusing to do it, there probably wasn't much hope for her learning the product anyways. Was the screaming necessary though? Unfortunately, when you're a Karen and you just like to complain, yes, screaming has to be part of the arsenal, otherwise people won't realize that you are in fact a Karen, and in this case she was trying to take authority over the conversation while failing to take authority over refreshing her browser. Alright, that's enough tales for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Tales from Tech Support. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.